All right, everybody. How are you? I am recording this for our friends who are at home. I'm hoping that we're able to Zoom today, but if not, you have this video to help you. So we're going to go ahead and start with the warm-up. Remember, today is the 2nd of November. We're already in November. Holy moly. Time has flown. And what this is inaccurate. This is for my people who are in class. You're actually in the folder for translating Grandfather's House. We're just a day or two behind. But your warm-up is accurate. So it says, what do you think of when you hear the word narrative? You're going to be studying a narrative poem today, doing that Think Rich activity with it and annotating it. So in your OneNote binder, you're going to go into the warm-up section. You guys know the drill. It's going to be warm-ups 11-2, and you're going to write your response in the Monday part. So I'm going to go ahead and let you pause the video here and get your warm-up completed. All right, now that you have your warm-up done, I'm going to ask that you go into the root section of your binder. In the root section, you're going to find the activity called Frayer and then Cyst. So our new root is Cyst. It is the last one that we are going to be doing for Unit 1. And for this particular root, I do want you to make sure that you have the hyphens at the beginning and the middle, because you'll see for the facts and characteristics, it can be in the beginning or the middle of a word. So you do want to have the hyphen on each end to signify where the other word parts might be. But cyst means to stand. So as we had said, it may be in the beginning, middle, or end of a word. And remember, you're writing this down in your OneNote section. Some examples are persistent, insist, consistent, resist, and assist. So when you think of stand, you think of, standing on your own 2 feet. And what I want you to do is think kind of more abstractly with that word stand. When you're persistent, you stand your ground. It's not necessarily referring to you standing on your 2 feet, but it's talking more of having like an attitude of, not stopping. When you insist on something, you're still standing your ground. You're making sure that people know that what you think is true. When you're consistent, again, you stand your ground. You whatever you said that you were going to do, you do it, and you do it, every single day. When you're resisting something, you're going against it, but you're standing firm in your beliefs. And when you assist somebody, you're helping them kind of get on their 2 feet and stand. So it's not always necessarily referring to being on your 2 feet and, standing up. It's more of that, kind of figurative meaning of standing your ground. So with that being said, some non-examples are weak, worried, soft, and not helpful. So go ahead and pause this video right here and mark down your Frayer model in the root section of your OneNote binder. All right, now that you are finished with your warm-up and your roots, I am going to have you go into your Schoology course. So once you are in, remember you want to go to the small group learning. You'll go into your team folder. And then what I'd like for you to do is go into the folder that says Translating Grandfather's House. If you did not submit your keynote on Schoology, please make sure that you do so in the Hanging Fire folder. But we're going to move on to our other poem so that tomorrow we can compare the 2 poems and look at their structure. So when you click in, you'll see that you're going to be close reading the poem Translating Grandfather's House using that Think Rich strategy to identify a theme. By the end of today, you should be able to state the theme of the poem, and then you should be able to explain the impact of a simple story. So Once you're in, I'm going to have you go ahead and click on your Translating Think Rich activity. Remember, you'll have a button that says My Document. I'm going to go ahead and click here so that it opens. And it's the typical Think Rich graphic organizer. I'd explain to the students that are in school, you're probably sick of seeing these, but what the goal is that eventually by, next month and into January, you will be comfortable enough to do your thinking, before and during that first read, and then, completing the rich portion during your second read without having to write anything in the graphic organizer. It'll become second nature. So again, we're doing these, it seems repetitive, but it's to build those skills, because if you can do this on your own, then you will, be successfully close to reading a piece of text. In your OneNote binder, I also want you to open up the text. So if you go to the reading section, you'll see where it says Hanging Fire and Translating Grandfather's House. So when you scroll down, you will see Translating Grandfather's House is the second poem, and it has a picture with a house in the background. So the poem is not very long, but this poem is a little bit different than Hanging Fire, and we're going to look at the structures tomorrow. But what we're going to do for the Think Rich is just like any of our other Think Rich activities. The first thing we're going to do is look at the title, and kind of think about what it reminds us of. So I'm going to walk you through the think portion and then get you started with the rich, and your job will be to finish that rich portion and submit this graphic organizer to me. So of course we're going to copy down the title, and we're just going to brainstorm what it makes us think of. If it makes you think of something different, please add it, but you can use this obviously as your model. So when I hear Translating Grandfather's House, I actually think of Mr. D'Amico because of that word translating. And in math, I know that it's moving shapes. And I was joking with the kids in class. I hear, Mr. D'Amico say translating so many times in the beginning of the year when you guys are doing your geometry work. So Translating Grandfather's House automatically makes me think of math. And when we're moving, it's kind of more along the lines of across a space. I also think of Florida because that's where my grandparents lived for a significant amount of time. And then I also think of different languages, because when you translate a different language, you're kind of making something make sense. So that's my brainstorm. Remember, if you have something else that you want to add to it, please do. I'm just showing you kind of where I am as far as the title. So if I look back at the poem, I notice that there's no headings. I do see this down here, but it says in big round letters, I title it Grandfather's House. So I know that that's just the title of something. It's not an actual heading. So there's no headings, but I'm going to say it's a poem. Now, the picture itself did catch my attention. So what I'm going to put under images and other features is obviously the picture first. It's of a house. The house to me looks very old. It's brightly colored. And if I'm looking at it, it looks like something that's not necessarily like found in Pocomoke or Ocean City where I'm from, or really anywhere in Maryland for that matter. There's no siding. It looks almost like that stucco siding, but then you've got this gorgeous old door. And if you look, you can tell it's old because of the wood, but it looks really, really small too. And I know doors in America don't always look that small. So I'm going to say that the house looks like it may be foreign. Based on the color and the siding and, you know, the lamp being up top, I haven't seen this type of architecture around here. The vine itself, you don't see that a lot around here. Sometimes you see just straight greenery, but this has bright, beautiful purple flowers. So this looks very foreign to me. In addition to the picture, I also see these bolded words, and I know they're in blue, so that's our concept vocabulary. Then I also see that that capitalized title. So I'm going to put capitalized text, grandfather's house, whoops. And then I'm also going to put blue bolded words. I know those are my concept vocabulary words, so I'm going to go ahead and move into new vocabulary. And I'm going to put them down. So I'm going to put horizon, awakenings, and beaming. And I know that as I read and I start to gather some of these questions, I'm going to have to define this vocabulary as well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is read it through one time. Remember, this is our first read, so we're not writing anything down. But what I'm going to do is really focus on those questions. So anytime that I don't understand what something means, I'm actually going to put a little question mark next to it. So, according to my sketch, rows of lemon and mango trees frame the courtyard of grandfather's stone and clapboard home. The shadow of a palomino gallops on the lip of the horizon. The teacher says the house is from some Zorro movie I've seen. Ask my mom, I protest. She was born there, right there on the second floor. Crossing her arms, she moves on. Ooh, I wonder why that teacher does that. Gracious, you can see how slow my internet is. Memories, once certain as rivets, become confused as awakenings in strange places, and I question the house, the horse, the wrens perched on the slate roof. The roof Oscar Hartine tumbled from one hot Tuesday, installing a new weather vane. He broke his shin and 2 fingers. Classmates finished drawings of New York City housing projects on Navy Street. I draw one too, with wild grass rising from sidewalk cracks like windows. I wonder why that student changed his mind, or her mind. Why'd they change? In big round letters, I title it Grandfather's House. Beaming, the teacher scrawls an A+ on the corner and tapes it to the green blackboard. To the green blackboard. Everything in this part I question. Why is that teacher all of a sudden now happy? Why does this student get an A? And why does they repeat green blackboard twice? So, out of this entire poem, I've got 3 questions so far. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and record them down. I'm going to put a bullet, and I'm going to say, what was my first question? Why is the teacher reacting negatively to the student's drawing? Why does the student change the drawing? And why do they repeat to the green blackboard? Goodness, I'm having time trying to type. There we go. All right. So these questions are what's going to kind of drive my second read, if you guys remember. And what your job is going to be is to think of a theme, those supporting details that you think contribute to that theme, any questions that you have, and then what surprised you, your inferences that you think answer those questions, and then what changed or confirmed your thinking from the very beginning. Now, if you have extra questions that you want to put down, please do so. If there was extra vocabulary that you wanted on there, remember this is just a model, but please fill this in based on your read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start you guys off, and then you are going to finish your annotations and then submit your Think Rich activity to me. So when it says, according to my sketch, rows of lemon and mango trees frame the courtyard of Father's stone and clapboard home. So I know that this student is drawing a house, and based on the title and the first 5 lines, it's obviously their grandfather's house. But what stood out is that rows of lemon and mango trees framing the courtyard. We know that it's stone and clapboard. So that's definitely a home. I'm going to go ahead and confirm what I had thought before. And I'm going to see if I can type it so it's a little bit easier for you guys to read. And I'm going to say this is an older home, not from around here. We don't have lemon and mango trees in Pocomoke. We definitely don't have them in Ocean City either. Must be a warmer climate. I know that those kind of plants grow in warmer climates. Or in a country, other than America. So what also stood out to me was this idea of a courtyard. And courtyards are in very nice homes. And they're in a lot of older homes too. So I'm going to kind of confirm my thinking that this is a house that's not around here. But what I do know now is that this house is very nice because they have room for a courtyard. And then it says, the shadow of a palomino gallops on the lip of the horizon. Now, I know that horizons don't actually have lips. So they must be talking about, kind of a focal point. I know that a horizon is the place where the land meets the sky. And it's that horizontal kind of plane of, vision where the land kind of touches the sky, even though we know that the land never really touches the sky, but it's that place far off in your focal point where the land kind of looks like it's touching the sky. So a palomino is galloping way off in the horizon, which shows that they have a lot of land. Again, this must be a very nice home. It's probably in the countryside. Because if I look at my footnote, remember from our root last week, remember that root NOT means mark, and obviously our feet are at the bottom of our body, so it's a mark at the bottom of the page. A palomino is a horse with a light golden coat and white mane and tail. I also know, because I used to ride horses, that palominos are very, very nice horses, and they are not from around here. So even though we have palomino horses around here, they, we import them in from other countries. So those are my 2 annotations for the first stanza. What I'm going to have you guys do is go ahead and annotate the rest of the stanzas. When you get down here, I really want you to try to make some sense of what's going on here. Use your footnote to, read about what a housing project is. And I want you to focus on that change. Remember, in the Think Rich graphic organizer, we said, why does the student change the drawing? I really want you to try to answer that question, because what that's going to do is kind of help you understand what the theme is. Okay. So again, remember, your job is to finish that Think Rich activity after annotating, get that rich part done, and then submit it to me. Hopefully we're able to do this together on Zoom tomorrow, but if not, you have this. And as always, please message me with any questions that you have. I hope that I get to see you, and if not, I can't wait to see you guys again. Have a great day.